Tottenham. Well.
Okay, guys, why don't you sit over here so I don't have to. Hi.
It's okay here?
Marvelous.
Splendid.
You are the best there is.
There's Nathan.
Alrighty. Nathan, I don't know.
He went to Jerusalem today. He had to go to Jerusalem.
Ah, okay. We're going to Hilchos Tefilin Likutei. And we are by
Page
towards the end.
9 of Alken.
Yeah, okay. So we're towards the end of Lamed Dalet, right?
Then we start about
3 quarters, okay. What we said before is that we have to purify, clarify the area of the Madama, of the imagination, and rather, I think that imagination-based perception is probably a better definition of it. This is Madama. Because perception can be, knowledge-based perception, and, conjuncture-based perception. And that, we're not talking about the imagination in the way that is like, he's a creative guy or he's not a creative guy. He's very imaginative or he's not very imaginative. If he looks at things from an unusual angle or he doesn't, which is how people usually define imagination. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a point of view, rather a set of preconceived or pre-agreed assumptions, and we're talking about a mode of thinking. This is what I mean by that. We said quite a few times before that when you are looking at reality in life, you're looking at it from a very specific frame of reference. This, your unique frame of reference, partially is based on what society teaches you, what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what is true, what is not true. This is what society holds. And people being herd animals by nature feel comfortable in a herd mentality, just like, bolet, it's like עד כדי כך that, והמה מעולם אנשי שם, and they were from the olden days, people of name, or people of repute. This is talking about the Tefilin. This is talking about, people that were doing bad. The thing is that when people are singled out for wrong that they have done, the result is shame, right? What is shame? Shame in Hebrew is name, right? When they are called by name, and suddenly...
Same spelling? Same spelling?
It's English and Hebrew. It's not how can be same spelling? I'm saying that the language that is that the world was created with is Hebrew.
Busha is Shem?
The English word shame,
Ah.
it comes phonetically from the Lashon Kodesh word of name. When a person is singled out for a wrong that he has done, he is called by name, he is singled out. Somebody's everybody sees it. You can see that a person didn't feel the shame when he was doing the act, right? It's only when he was singled out, he was caught on a hidden camera, that
Okay.
right? This is when this is the Inyan of, by the way, of Olam Haba.
Right.
That suddenly everything is found out. Everything is it's no longer private. There's nowhere to hide.
You said we go out there and we get publicly humiliated.
The
front of a
humiliation is the humiliation is an automatic result of the exposure. We're just being exposed. What we
Right.
thought we did in the private of privates was actually done in Carnegie Hall.
Right, but right now we're sitting.
Broadway.
We're sitting. We're sitting in Carnegie Hall right now.
You see, I once said people want to ask me if I can give a good example of Gehenna. What does Gehenna mean? I said, well, there are people that are sort of like, deviants that expose themselves, lolling in subways. They go with a coat, they show whatever. Imagine somebody goes like this, he exposes himself, and right then and there happens to be by chance a camera crew, Channel 7 News. Bam, they got it right on.
On his face, or no.
Oh, that's Gehenna.
We're looking for this man.
This is the man, and this is what he looks like. All over. Well, the point being is that we got a camera on us all the time. The Chafetz Chaim kept on saying that technology, there's Musar in technology. The fact that cameras were invented, gives it the notion that there is such a thing as Ein Ra. The eye that sees you, you're seen all the time. And the fact that the voice can be recorded or can go over a telephone, that everything you say is being recorded. That it's not, that in a sense, reality records itself as it is happening. And it's all being saved on the divine memory in the Bina. The only difference between a computer memory and Bina is that Bina is alive. It's a live memory. Bina is the hard drive. So the world is recorded as it happens. There's no use to saying like, we just went in and we're very close to, Chas v'Chalila, come close to a kid crossing the road. And when we started giving him the what for, it's we that we're traveling in the speed of rockets, and it's we that whatever, in this world, who's going to tell him wrong, right? In the world to come, there is everything is open. Now, to come back to
Consciousness.
what we were talking before. Basically, when you're in this world, you're working out of a perspective that accepts certain things as true and certain things as false. Whether they are or not is immaterial. And so your point of view is based on beliefs and knowledge. Mixture of belief and knowledge. What you believe to be true and what you ascertain is true, and vice versa, what you believe is false and what you ascertain is a lie. The whole thing, you make a whole composite of your point of view. That point of view is what you use in order to interpret the reality as it presents itself to you. Then, this interpretation of reality, if there is a problem with the measuring tools, as we said, is a combination of preconceived notions and knowledge. if you if your measuring tools are twisted, wrong, or miscalibrated, what's going to happen to your measurements?
Oh,
Surely everyone's miscalibrated.
What?
Everyone must be miscalibrated to some extent.
No, unless you are miscalibrated. My mouth doesn't work today, you know.
Recalibrate.
I don't know. Recalibrate my mouth, right?
I'll put your teeth back in.
My beef, man. All right. Everybody's perception and interpretation and remailer decision capacity is influenced by the imperfection of their calibration. The more miscalibrated, you know, the system, the greater are the twists and deformities. Only by the tzaddik emes it is completely clean. And even then, there is a completely
Does that mean only by Rabbi Nachman?
It's by Rabbi Nachman. The Rebbe says that everything is neged to the midas emes. He says the only difference between the tzaddikim is the level of the purity of the emes. He says that that the greater the emes, the greater the level, and he says that there is a tzaddik who is nekudas emes among all the tzaddikim. We cannot even begin to fathom what's the difference between this and this as far as emes. I mean, this is total emes, this is total emes. We don't. I mean, what? It's not because we're not there. You know, we don't have the kind of tools to measure the impurities, or rather to appreciate the pureness. But he says that the difference between them, between the tzaddikim who are in a different level of emes, he says that there are times that words of everyday life, that pertain to everyday life, of a tzaddik who holds on a higher madrega of emes, are higher and more choshuv than the Torah of a tzaddik was in the lower madrega of emes.
that's a pretty big.
Yes. You know, there is divrei chol, divrei kodesh. Torah itself is the ruach nevuah. It packs a punch of emes which is by itself. Okay? Divrei chol, punch the opposite. Punch and Judy, right? It's like, so he says that a tzaddik was in a high madriga of emes. His words with divrei chol can be more choshu b'shamayim than the Torah of a tzaddik of a lower madriga of emes, which is an extremely revolutionary thing to say.
Because he's a Sefer
We're
Torah.
both.
No, because he is a Sefer Torah.
Because his emet is levels. Emet is higher. We're both. If we were both tzaddikim and you were,
Because
Now, in order to understand,
we would talk about.
in order to
football, maybe higher
understand,
Can I just clarify something? Based on your perception of life, that affects the kedusha of what comes out of your mouth, even if it's divrei chol, basically. Kids.
yes.
By virtue of the
Everything
fact
he's saying, everything that a tzaddik or on the higher madriga of emes is saying, even divrei chol, is said in a madriga of emes that the other one is not capable of reaching even with this term. Now, to understand, yeah, but why would divrei chol be higher than the Torah of another one? Is Rabbeinu explains that in Torah Kufid Bes that the seal of Kadosh Baruch Hu is emes. Emes is the antenna, the receiver of Elokus in this world. That's the highest we can get to being divine. Even though truth in itself is very far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is way, way beyond. Nevertheless, the temporal, the material can only, the closest it can get to godliness is emes. What happens is
I don't know if I pressed record. Can you just check?
when a person talks divrei emes, what happens is that he is receiving HaKadosh Baruch Hu automatically. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with him. Now, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with him, the emes says that what happens is that the emes shines. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, Hashem shines. Hashem Oli, the minute
What does that
Hashem,
mean when Hashem's there? What does that mean when he's not there?
when there is a revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your life, suddenly reality, we said in Torah Aleph, right? When this Hashem, which is the Sechel Amiti, is in your life, suddenly you can see a way. That reason it shines.
But it's there anyway.
Yeah,
The sake of
but I'm
Kodesh,
telling
you have to
you,
look for.
as far as your awareness is concerned.
Right. It says you have to plug into it.
Okay, so the minute you speak emes, Kodesh Baruch Hu shines to you, because Kodesh Baruch Hu is revealed in a commensurate level to the degree of emes, that you have professed, that you hold. The higher the degree of revelation. Okay? The emes says that there are two types of emes, levels of emes. Fundamentally, on the lower madrega of emes, a person is truthful enough to be like a window, that when somebody else shines, it shines to him. In other words, at least you're not being an action, you're not being stubborn. This is, no, that's not my opinion, and that doesn't fit my preconceived ideas, so don't confuse me with facts. I don't want to hear it.
The light goes through him, no?
Right? No, it goes into him.
He's a window.
And his truth is a window. Your madrega of truth, you're truthful enough at least to hear from somebody else what the truth is.
No, your truth is your
Your
prescription.
truth?
Your openness. Your truth is your openness to receive.
But there's different levels of that.
It's like a window receiving light.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
open.
yeah.
It's open to receive light.
Being truthful, on the lower madrega allows you to be honest and to be open to what the real truth is. Even though you yourself are not capable of shining, but you are able to receive from somebody else because you're humble enough, because you're truthful enough. Okay? There is a higher madrega of emes where a person shines by himself, where his truth shines by itself. These are two basic separate madregas. There's an active and passive kind of emes, but nevertheless, in a different madregas, different levels of emes, leads. This is a different. I want to tell you that everything is recorded. You'll find that sneeze. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Take that stuff away from me.
Uh-huh.
Take the stuff away from me. Bless you.
Bless you. By the way, the last time when he did that, when I tell him bless you, then he said this is when he stopped. He kept on sneezing and sneezing until.
I just needed bless.
Yeah,
I
okay.
bless you the first time, you just didn't hear it. I said it in Yiddish, maybe that's what.
Okay. So, thing is that the higher the revelation of emes, the highest the emes, the greater the revelation of the presence of Hashem. Okay? Now, Beruchnius, Kadosh Baruch Hu is infinite, right? So when you're saying you can divide a centimeter to infinite parts, right? How many parts can you divide 2 centimeters? Also infinite, right? Though in our human perception we cannot possibly, grasp it, because our mind cannot grasp such numbers. Obviously, what can you divide into more parts? 1 centimeter or 2 centimeters? Huh?
2 centimeters. It's the sekilo. No, we can't grab
Oh,
it.
so that's what I'm saying. You get to a point where the human brain doesn't, it cannot wrap itself around the notion of A.
Just
you
like
know,
the tzaddikim.
okay, so here you're talking about, so this is emes, this is emes. But a higher madrega of emes is really infinitely higher than the one below it. Because you're talking about a fraction of Ein Sof. A fraction of Ein Sof is infinitely greater. We cannot wrap our head around it. Wait, what do you mean? It's like, okay, so it's 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters. You can't, our mind, smoke starts coming out. We can't think that. So, Mimele, it all has to do with the cleansing of the Madama. Because the Madama, as we said before, is the handle with which you reach for the pot of the true intellect itself. Intellect itself is both abstract, undifferentiated, and hidden.
And what?
And hidden. You don't think by the seichel. You think when the seichel is already in a keli. That cognition keli that
Before it's
in
in a keli, and
that's koyach hamadama.
There's a certain element of, I don't know I find that it doesn't matter how much I work on, say, Shmirat Ayin and things like that, I continually think about, not continually, but every so often I think about my life before I was religious. And it just seems like it's very difficult to clear that part of my madama because it just comes back. And I know it's the Yetzirah. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, and it happened this morning. I was sitting in my Tefilin, I was in the middle of like davening, and boom, I get like an image or whatever. Like, how do you?
You
Or
have to
you just
understand
stuck
what it
only
is.
the
No, no, no,
tzaddikim.
no, you have
Just
to understand.
hold on to the tzaddik zil.
But you have to understand what it is. That thing that you are standing there with thousand film and you're davening so strongly, and then the image comes, is exactly the way it should be.
It's to fix it, yeah?
That's right. What happens is that Simcha explained to me that when we say Hashem Hashem Kelachon Mechanun, the 13 names of Rachamim, we say Zenoisa Oven, carrying of sin. That when a person does something wrong, he creates a spiritual entity that needs to be sustained. Now, there's a rule that whoever gives life has to give sustenance. Parent caused the life of a child, the parent has to feed the child. Now, if that spiritual entity is your child, you're supposed to feed him. So what happens is that when a person does an Aveira, nobody around here, of course, but I heard that in the world there's a person that wants to do an Aveira. So the Aveira goes up to the Shammai first of all. The first thing is snitches. Hey, he did me. You see me? He's the one, that's the dude.
It's my papa.
Dada. Then, once it's finished, informing on you, it goes back to the person and say,
Lovely.
what's for dinner? Feed me. Ah, you don't have your own, you don't have enough? You know what your kid does when there's only one apple in the house? And you and him are hungry. Your kids get it. I mean, this is it. This is you don't have
Not in my
enough.
house.
You don't have what to give. You don't have what to give. No, when that's because the kid in you is still.
You're still the kid.
There's more truth to it than meets the eye by many of us. But it doesn't matter. The main point is that when push comes to shove, when it's a question of, do or die and there's a bottle of drink, who gets it? The kid gets it. Nekuda. There's no. So the point, so the same thing applies for the Avirah. it comes to you and says, give me to eat. I have okay, so I'll take you around. Take your own flat, your life force. Which is the thing that breaks down people, gives them machos, lolein, what happens is that when Kosh Baruch Hu does is when the very comes to Hashem, informs on you, Kosh Baruch Hu says, okay, don't go down, stay by me. And Kosh Baruch Hu feeds him subsidized meals from the Kedusha. Free lunches from the Kedusha. That's a pshat of Noise Oven. He carries this in until when? Until such time when you are involved in a deed of Kedusha that can be a rectification. When you're davening, or when you're eating, or when you're learning. And he sends that, so then he sends back the Aver. The Aver is a malach, which means it's a thought. It comes to you as a thought. And now is your time to rectify it. The only way that you rectify it is you don't take out your toolbox and start tinkering with the screws. That's not what you do. The only thing you need to do is you push it aside and you go on. You choose not to look at it. It still has life. You didn't rectify it completely. It comes back. So you push it aside again. And it comes back. Now, should you assume the point of view that, I can't believe this is really driving me crazy. Okay, I'll indulge with it. He got you. Not only didn't fix it, well, part of it you fixed. Part of it you didn't. It retains there, mixing you up, breaking you down physically, emotionally, spiritually. If you manage to be the action, to be the balabais, to know that you are the owner of the house, you're the balabais. Like a person once came to Abenu and he said, whenever I stand to daven, I have the avodah zarah, a cross comes in front of my eyes. What to do with it? So he said, just disregard it. Just realize avodah zarah is nothing. It's garnished. Wants to stand there, let it stand there.
Because you can't have two thoughts in your head.
Just think about what you need to think about. When it's done, when you have melted, the core of the machla of the thing, let's just go away. The way to handle it usually, while it's happening, when you see that it keeps on coming, is not to listen to the Yetzirah that drives you into panic because of it. I can't believe I'm saying these things. Well, okay. There's gonna be this nonsense. What can I do? Okay. In the meantime, think about what you need to say.
Chop off his legs and his hands.
Yeah, just keep on.
Chop off his head.
The Vegas. Whatever.
When you realize, listen, it's going to come to bother me is anyhow. I'm not going to give it the time of day. I'm going to think about what I need to think. It's going to come in. It's going to come in. So again, I'm going to go to where I need to go to.
The issue isn't dealing with it. The issue, what I was bringing up was the idea of cleansing the Madonna.
That is
not the panic or the emotion that comes with it. I mean, how do you?
It's a tikkun.
Yeah, it's a process.
It cleanses.
It's a process. You look away from it. This is a process of rectifying the Madonna.
It's all tshuva is.
Ah, right.
It's
listening to your Rav, learning Torah, davening, coming close to the tzad. That's the only reason we go to Uman is to clean the Madonna, is to clean the thought. The Rebbe says to himself, tzaddikim, people go to tzaddikim Rosh Hashanah, to clean the Taras HaMachshava.
It's like each one of these things is like a level of shade on your lens.
Oh, yeah.
Making it darker and darker and darker.
Until it becomes a mirror.
Until it becomes a mirror, yeah.
Then all you see is yourself.
There's a story of the black mirror that he has Albano also.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that the level of the Dhamma is the level of skin. That's the outer of the outer. And what you do is you take the Seichel Amiti, which is the Torah, which is the passion of the Tefilin, and you conjugate them with the skin, with the parchment, which is the skin of a behemoth, which means it's a medama of a medama. The behemoth by itself is a medama, and its skin is the outside layer of a medama. That's the medama of the medama. In other words, the lowest of the low.
Why is the Madama the outside? Sorry.
We said the medama is the tool with which you grasp the seichel. That's the one that you're cognizant of. That's the outside layer.
It's the thing closest to physicality,
It's the closest to
like the skin.
the covered is the outside, is the malchus, is the medama. The clothing of the outside layer. There's no bigger dimyonis than in clothing. So in Mela we said that the process is that it goes through the skin. That's the reason why the shtalshel sa'olamas in the materialization process. That's probably the closest way to describe shtalshelos. It's the process of materialization. Sorry.
Good word.
Once reality materializes from possibility to reality, to actuality, or the process of actualization, when things come down. In every olim, it always starts from, symbolically from the level of the umbilical down. The lower world starts from the umbilical down. Everything above the umbilical does not manifest itself in the lower world. So the Yetzirah starts from the umbilical of Bria down. Bria itself starts from the umbilical of Atzilus down. The world of Asiya, the world of deed, starts from the umbilical of Yetzirah and lower. It's the reason why babies connect with the umbilical to the mother. It's just skin. That's all it is. So he says, and this is in the story. We had the lowest beggar of them all. The lowest elder of them all was the one that had the memory of the umbilical being cut. He's the one. His memory, though it is
Latest.
from old. Well, for us, it's as early as can be because this is where life starts. Vis-a-vis the elders, the Zakanim, he's the youngest one of them all. He's the lowest one of them all. Because those before him remember things that took place, during gestation, during pregnancy, with the few of them already remembering what was the ruach, nefesh ruach neshama, the way it was before the body would start to congeal, to develop, to evolve. With the blind beggar that remembers this and remembers nothing. In other words, he's connected to Chaya Yechida already. He's connected to Enso. So the truth of the matter is the koyach of the lowest one is derived, lowest elder, is derived from the highest one. But this fact is concealed. And we explained, the last thing we explained when we learned it is that the reason why the kalim of the last chacham have to originate at the highest level possible is because when the kalim we prepare are part of a chain. When it goes from top to bottom, it's a process of materializing potential to actuality. But when we take the road to spirituality, we go the other way. We're going up. it's a process of ascension. What we do is we have to correct the level of where we are, as imperfect as we are in the here and now. We have absolutely no notion whatsoever how to connect the here and now with the historical process, from the beginning of creation till after Tchias HaMesim. We don't even know from one day to the next we're having problems of continuity, of doing things right today. So there's certain things that we'll learn. You have money in your pocket, and if you spend it indiscriminately because it feels good, tomorrow you're not going to have any money. Okay, so causality is the beginning of seichel. But again, we don't know what we don't know. All kinds of different facts and how things will change. So the more chokhmah you have, the more intelligent you are, the more experienced you are, saying, okay, you have to prepare yourself for quote-unquote any eventuality, within reason. So eventualities, like, that you cannot possibly control, you cannot possibly cope with. That like we're saying, that, people take money and salt it aside for rainy day or for whatever, okay? Well, there are rainy days, for most people, there are rainy days that they don't have money to contend with. In other words, people that could put together large sum of money, so they make a cheshbon, that if they become incapacitated, they cannot work anymore, so they can have, mechaz v'chalila, there's, a catastrophic illness, it requires hundreds of thousands of dollars, worth of medication. Suddenly, all the savings melt like butter on a hot skillet, right? Obviously there are, such illnesses, no matter how much money you have, it's not going to help. So, but what I'm saying is there are certain tools to deal with that which you don't know. We have tools that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us that were designed at the very core of what the emes is. Those tools are giving us the right answer, the right attitude of us here and now, even though we can't see what's going to be. It enables us to step another step forward, and afterwards another step forward, which leads exactly to the ultimate ends. We said this is the meaning of equalizing the light of the moon to the light of the sun, which means the reflection of the chokhmah, in my level, is in agreement with the ultimate direction. In order for that to be done, the design of the tool that I'm using now has to fit, the ultimate system.
In line with.
It has to be in line with the ultimate. It still leads you towards that. It can be, if you measure it according to your own faculties, here and now, there's no way in the world you're not going to make a mistake, because decisions are always a result of your perspective. The wider your perspective, the more accurate your decisions are going to be. As Reb Nosson says, when you say Mechalkel Chaim b'Chesed, Mechayim V'Sim B'Chamim Rabim, the sustainer of people in Chesed, that resurrects the dead with great rachamim. You see that second bracha? Could you lift the camera just a dash and dash? No, this side. No. This side a little bit.
This side?
Yeah, okay. That the So why is this strange coupling of sustainer of people with mercy, with kindness, with the resurrecting the dead? All the time you see in the second bracha, it's a few times that this strange tandem come to visit. So what's the connection between them? And also says because parnasa is something that you deal with every single day. You have to make choices about it every single day. He says the ultimate atzlacha is only one which takes in perspective forever. We said it a few times. I mean, if you tell your boss exactly what you think of him, will be a success for 5 minutes, then you're going to find yourself in the street.
Long term.
The longer term of your perspective, the longer term of your atzlacha, the more atzlacha it is. And it also says the only true atzlacha is an eternal atzlacha. Everything else is short-sighted. You see, penny wise and dollar foolish. So mele, parnasa is something that you decide on a daily basis. Are you you have money in your pocket, you're gonna pay your debt, or you're gonna buy yourself a little toy? Or are you gonna sell it away because, well, I need it, I don't know, I want to pay him. I can have you have to pay somebody 1,000 shekels, somebody has 1,000 shekels in your pocket. You think, like, I'm going to pay my 1,000 shekels, I'm going to leave without any money. Well, 800 is more than enough for him. What's 800? Well, when I have all 200 shekels in my pocket left, what can I do? Can't do that. Then it goes down to 500. I'm going to 500, then I can talk to him. And, by the time you get to him, he's lucky to get 100 shekels.
This is that moment for me. This is happening to me right now.
Shh, you're not the only one.
No, I had 1,000 shekels.
Let me save some for you.
Okay, so the thing is that, but and inescapably the result is that the money that you didn't give melts away and disappears, and the debt is still there. In other words, if you were to take the money, you would pay it. Debt is gone, money's gone, debt is gone. The money's going to be gone anyhow. But the medama is that, no, I want to keep it, I want to hold on to it. Well, the decision that you make to cheat people, or not you, the person might make. I heard in Yugoslavia there's a person who's a lawyer who cheats people. In Yugoslavia, it's a known thing.
It's a goy.
Yeah. Dragan is his first name. I'm not going to say the last name, but I want to, Okay. Anyhow, when a person lies, which is when you're looking for your parnasa, when you're dealing with your parnasa, besides the fact that you need to take care of what you need to take care of in the here and now, it has to be done with a perspective of Mechaya Besim. What is the influence of this decision on a Mechaya Besim perspective?
You mean if I make this decision, am I going to come back?
No. Whether you come back, you're going to come back, whatever it is, you're going to pay the consequences. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. We need to, a person can kill his kesamesim also. But let's not go even that far. The thing is that when you are being opportunistic for the here and now, is you pay the consequences on the long term. So the Muslim says when you are thinking your parnos on a daily basis, a clean madama means that you have a perspective of ultimately what would HaKadosh Baruch Hu say about this. it's going to mean that I'm not going to have, and maybe the consequences would be very harsh.
You would know the shame already.
Now comes the question: you're going to trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu with it or not? Not that you're going to trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to get your chestnuts out of the fire. That's not it. If he will, he will. If he won't, he won't. Chances are, when you are ready, when you're bringing everything to the table, your willingness to the table, he'll help you out. But sometimes, Kadosh Baruch Hu knows better. You know, there has to be, there has to be a fall before there's a rise. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows it's supposed to be a fall. Doing the right thing doesn't mean that I'll do the right thing and Kadosh Baruch Hu will save me the way that I understand what saving is. That's not what I need to do. I need to do what Kadosh Baruch Hu wants me to do. I can ask him, please.
Go easy.
Go easy on me. I need to do things. I need to help me with that. But I'm going to do what you want me to do, even if it means that everything is going to break down. They're going to close my bank account, or they're going to turn off the electricity, or whatever it is it's going to do. Now, the thing is that I don't always know the right thing to do. So I call up somebody else who's impartial with me. Usually you know your own answers, but you don't know what they are. So if you talk to somebody who doesn't think that he's the greatest sage on earth, usually all he needs to do is just turn to you and says, what do you think the right thing to do? Well, give the other guy their money. Go ahead and do it. Don't rely on you, because we have a twisted Madonna. So rely on somebody else's advice as far as this goes. But when you do things the right way, there's a lot more to talk about this. Another show will continue, but let's stand up. Can you please?
Apologies.
Slowly apologize.